What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Between the Ropes. It's been a while since we've been here with too many pay-per-views on Sunday, I guess. But welcome in. It's great to see you guys. We are going to do the abbreviated version of the show tonight. So we're not here till 11 o'clock because, you know, Jeff has work in the morning and has things to do. So, yeah, we're going to cut out the grievances tonight and we'll just go through our normal stuff. But welcome. We've got a lot of stuff going on in the world of wrestling, a lot to talk about. It's football season in America, man. NFL season kicked off. Jeff and my team both won, and it's a good Sunday all around. Jeff has shown me videos of his son at football. Just got football with him. It's been a good weekend, Jeff. How's your weekend gone?
So I gotta say, this is the first time in quite some while that all of my teams, high school, college, pro, and now my son, all picked up wins this weekend. So I'm a happy camper. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, but I'm happy. But I was gonna wait to do this, Joe, until favorite moments. But can I just share my video with everybody? So here's my son yesterday. Just wanted to share this real quick, and I had a little bit of fun editing the video. So here we go.
Turn around, Jay. Yeah! Yes! Good job, Jay.
Nothing like a big man touchdown. So that's my buddy, man. He did a good job in his first flag football game, and I'm very happy. His team is the Jaguars, and they won yesterday, and he caught a pass for a score. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. He's gonna be a big boy, man. He might be taller than you at some point.
Sure.
Being as big as he is, he might be playing some football for a long time. Might be going through college and all that stuff. So that's awesome, man. That's there's nothing like it when you get to watch your kids do like stuff that they enjoy. I remember my oldest was in cheerleading for a long time and going to games for that. And, you know, my youngest was in plays, like local plays and stuff, and going to that. And man, I can remember, and I'm sure you felt this way too. I can remember seeing her in Frozen, my daughter. Mm-hmm. And she had the lead. So she played Elsa. And when she sang that song from that, I literally started bawling.
Oh yeah.
The tears in my eyes, like I was bawling. My wife was shocked because I am not a crier. I don't cry easily, but I was in tears.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you were like that too, man. It's just amazing. It's a proud moment, dude.
It is. And I was joking yesterday. I didn't cry out there at the field. I waited until much later. Until all of that. But every recital, every dance recital that my daughter has had, I've cried at every single one of them.
Yep.
Just because it's wild, because you see them go from this tiny human being that depends on you for everything, and then now they're out there doing their thing and enjoying what they enjoy, and all that good stuff. So yeah, good stuff, man.
Yeah, just yeah. And all I'll say, like, and Jeff, you're a little bit younger than me, and everybody out there, those of you who have kids and stuff like that, all I could say is just cherish it, because it goes so fast.
Yeah.
So fast, and me and my wife reminisce, like we're empty nesters now, and it's like unbelievable that it went so fast. And my oldest was just in for her birthday, and we celebrated her birthday, and we talk about all the stuff. I told her, I talk about when her and I were watching like Caillou and all those little cartoons that she used to watch, and it goes so fast. So for those of you in the chat and those of you out there that have kids, or whether you have like little brothers, little sisters, whatever the case might be, just cherish those times. You don't, a lot of times you think, they're going to be like that forever, but it just goes so quick. And before you know it, I'm going to walk my daughter down the aisle in just a little under a month, getting married. And I saw the song they're going to play, and I'm sure I'll be crying there too. So it's, man, it goes so fast. So just, enjoy it. It's amazing, man. Amazing. And I'm sure your son will be playing a lot of football, man. He'll be going to a lot of games.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a pretty good little athlete. And I'm excited for him, and to see things yesterday. It was funny because when he first got out there were some nerves, there were some different things, and you could see, like, as the game went on, he got a little more confident as the game went on, and it was fun to watch. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're going to get into it again, just to give you an idea of our schedule. So I know I missed TNA last week. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I've read a lot about it. I heard a lot of things. I heard it was very good. I have to go back and watch it. I can't watch it on my TV anymore, so I have to watch it on the iPad. But I might watch it tonight, actually, a little later on before bed.
Shout out Conrad and Chris for joining me.
Yeah.
Watch along. So I know Conrad is in chat, so I appreciate you, brother. And see that your Bills got to come from behind win.
It did.
So yeah.
That one started a little rough, I got to tell you. I have somebody from the Bills on my fantasy team. I'm trying to think of who it is. But they were like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that they started so slow, and then I'm like, holy cow, they were down big. Kyler Murray was looking pretty good, and but football is a little weird. Like at the start of the season, it's very weird. These players don't play in training camp anymore, and you never really know what you're going to get. The opening game is kind of a crapshoot sometimes. But yeah, thank you, Conrad. I really appreciate you coming on and helping out Jeff there. I really appreciate that, and of course Chris too. But yeah, so Tuesday, of course, at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will have Fireflies Forever. Big match tomorrow on Raw. That's I'm sure going to be the main event. We got a big 4-on. I think it's 3-on-3, 4-on-4. 4-on-4 match tomorrow night between the Wyatt Six and, of course, American Made. So we'll be talking all about that on Tuesday. And then, of course, we'll be back for TNA on Thursday. And Emergence is this coming Friday. I will not be here. I have the Friday the 13th thing that I got tickets for that I'm going to. I didn't even know that was going to be on the same day. I had no idea they were doing that on Friday the 13th. But we'll figure out what's going on with that. We'll let you guys know. We'll see what Jeff's got going on. If he, for whatever reason can't make it, and we'll probably have to pass on that one, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But yeah, so try doing an NFL fantasy thing this weekend. It's too effing confusing and difficult to understand. Yeah, my team did pretty well, man. I have a lot of receivers on my team, and they all went off. Like every receiver I had, I think I'm leading the league with 139 points, and I don't even have Christian McCaffrey playing yet. So I started off pretty well. But then again, I had the number one pick, but that doesn't always mean anything because last time I had the number one pick, the guy got hurt. He was out for like 5 or 6 weeks, and I was like, yeah, that figures. All right. Let's see. Let's welcome in some people. We'll get going. We have Brandon Wayne Lewis. We have Clown. We have Hassan, Deadman, James Grant. Congrats to your teams, Joe and Jeff. We suck again, says Derek. I mean, Derek, when you got Kirk Cousins, I was like, I don't trust that guy. He puts up some numbers, but oh my gosh, he just turns the ball over at such bad times. I can't trust that dude. You got a hell of a running back though on that team, so you've got good pieces there. I just honestly think that you need a quarterback. Cousins might be a stopgap. I think you need a quarterback there. James saying he's not here because he's half asleep. We're doing well. Deadman, thank you. Melonhead is here. Anthony Slade, a member of the channel. Hello, Anthony. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Deanna is here. There you go. A little applause for our members. Damian Robinson is here. What's up, Damian? How are you? Andrew Stevens as well. Barry Monkey from Twitch. We have Deanna says we need grievances. I'm shattered, like the song James said, like the song. Yeah, they had that big AEW thing last night that probably went on until midnight, I'm sure. The son of a bee Cowboys won. Yes, we did, baby. See my jersey? Yeah, man, right here. Yes. Every horror movie, the dog every horror movie, the dog that's a character. I'm bawling my eyes out. Oh, you mean like dog movies? Yeah, yeah, I can't. Anything with dogs, pets, and stuff like that. No, I can't. I didn't see the show, James. I did not see All Out. I didn't even read the results. I had a busy weekend. I've been working late, and like they've opened the store later now and stuff like that. So, I watched a damn Charlie Brown show, and Peppermint Patty won a figure skating competition and cried. The plastic bag reminded me of Schlack. Brian had his hands under his chin, creating space with the bag. Cherish everyone you love, says Conrad. Absolutely. Absolutely. Launch day for the new season of my wheelchair basketball team. Nice. Very good. Brandon Wayne Lewis. That was Mark, of course. Andrew, I think I got everybody. Logan James. Hello. I think I got everybody. Yes. Clown, Logan, Deadman, James, Deanna, Derek. Yeah. Yes. Jeff's team went off too. Yeah. Baker Mayfield, man. Who would have thought? Man?
It's crazy what happens when you get in a place that believes in you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Got some talent and some folks that are going to bat for you. So
yeah,
a shout out to the Bucks. And listen, I'm gonna say this too for everybody that wants to talk about Clemson, and I get it. They played Appalachian State last night, and they're not Georgia. I get it, but they found some wide receivers last night. They found some schemes that work. So Clemson might be a little bit of a problem down the stretch too. I wouldn't want to play them later in the year if I were some of these college football teams. But
listen, there's a lot of teams getting beat by upset beat. Like look how Michigan got beat.
Notre Dame got beat by Northern Illinois.
Yeah, dude. Like it looks as if like college football might have some parity going on. Like there's changing of things. Like the Big Ten got more. They now combine with the teams in California, USC, UCLA. Like there's a lot of changes going on. So yeah, I mean you have your usuals up at the top. You have Georgia up there, of course, and but Yeah, and
Somehow, Cal and Stanford are part of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Make that make sense.
it's so weird.
And
Yeah,
SMU. So Southern Methodist, Stanford, and Cal are all in the ACC.
yeah, it's so weird. I know. Like it was nice when they were all in territories and they belong there. But yeah, I get it. I think a lot of it has to do with like the TV deals, Jeff, like wanting these matchups, these different matchups that happen. Like you could see matchups you never saw before. I don't know, but it is
all
weird.
money motivated.
Yeah, it is weird.
And
You're down in the dumps right now. That's not good, dead man.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Hopefully we can cheer you up.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say, being a former employee of the NCAA, I don't ever want to hear anyone ever again speak about student athlete or mention, classroom time and all this stuff, because quite frankly, it just seems like people don't care.
Yeah.
Because for Clemson this year, so they have it a little bit easy. They have Stanford coming to them, I think. But can you imagine being a baseball player at, let's say, Duke, and you play Syracuse for a series, and then you have to play Stanford? So you got to go from South Carolina to New York, and then you'd have to go out to Palo Alto, California. Not very conducive to a good, strong college education and spending a lot of time in the classroom. But I digress. That's just the NCAA whatever in me. It's just always been about student athletes, and this screams the opposite.
Yeah. Look, even the NFL's doing it too. I mean, I don't know if any of you watched the football game with the Eagles and the Packers. They played in Brazil, so the NFL is now starting to even go overseas and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, dangerous, very dangerous. That field was so soft and coming up, and people getting hurt, and the cleats weren't working right because it's a soccer stadium and stuff. So I don't know. Like, you like all this stuff, and I'm sure the NFL is doing it to get fans from over there watching the product and stuff. But you got to feel for like Jordan Love of the Packers. I mean, he's going to be out for a bunch of weeks now because of that, and so yeah, and there's just different stuff. The more things change, the more these. I don't know. You wonder if it's going to be good for everything that they are and stuff like that. But yeah. Sorry, yeah, Dave, man. That's sorry about that. That's horrible news. Pets are it's so. We wish they were with us for a lot longer than they were. And I've been through. I love my dog that I have now so much, and I'm sure they just don't stay around as long as we would like them to, and that's never an easy thing to deal with. So sorry to hear about that. Let's see. I've always argued that they should be reimbursed for education after they're done playing for the school. What I'm saying is you basically give them a degree for playing sports, and then you allow them to get whatever degree they want for free for giving you their body for whatever the amount of years were. Interesting thought. Yeah, interesting thought. All right. Okay. Well, we're going to get into the wrestling side of it, and let's go on to Jeff, some breaking news, right?
Yeah, let's go to the news here. So let me get myself together here. So we'll go to some breaking news.
There is the graphic there, and I mean, some of the stuff going on X, at least. Jeff, there are rumblings about Charlotte Flair. A lot of words being said about her. She's been in, sometimes you see her name out there in Twitter. Hell, I even had a bot follow me, or a fake account follow me with Charlotte's name on Twitter in the last day or two that I had to go and report. But yeah, looks like she may be getting close to a return, Jeff, and that's interesting for WWE. They have a lot of good female talent going on there, and we all know the bench that they have in NXT and stuff like that, but it'll be very interesting to see what Charlotte comes back to when she is indeed ready to get back to the ring. And what does she play? Does she come back as a heel? Does she come back as kind of like the face we saw last time? I personally like her as a heel a little bit better. But I don't know, Jeff, maybe it has something to do also with Tiffany Stratton and what they're doing exactly with her. I was thinking full on heel with her, but now I don't know. They might turn her face in here, kind of giving off some vibes with that, but I don't know. Anyway, look, when Charlotte Flair's back, that's never a bad thing.
No. And I mean, with her, it's going to be interesting to see which show she ends back up on and what program they put her back in when she gets back. But the main thing is just that she's healthy and ready to go. And there are a lot of talented people on that roster. So I'm curious to see what they end up doing.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. They are just killing it right now with their women's division. And Conrad says, I could see Charlotte dethroning Nia, and then Tiffany cash-in is probably Charlotte gets the championship match at WrestleMania. Yeah, that could very well happen.
Yep. That's kind of where my mind is going with that.
Yep, that could very well happen for sure. I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously we had the pay-per-view all out on Saturday night. And again, I didn't get to see it. I didn't even see results. So, Jeff, did you see it? Did you read anything about it or anything like that?
I saw some clips. Okay. I do know that John Moxley tried to unalive Bryan Danielson.
Oh, jeez.
Putting a plastic bag over his head.
Oh, I did see the picture of that on Twitter. Okay, yeah.
BCC turned on Bryan Danielson after his successful defense. And the only thing I'm going to say about Hangman and Swerve is just go watch it. Some of the stuff they did, if you've ever seen death matches and very extreme rules type matches, they did a lot of that. There was a spot where there was a needle used. There was a spot off of a cinder block. And then there was a chair shot with a chair that was gimmick, but still kind of jarring to see an unprotected chair shot, even if the chair is gimmick. But yeah, that was wild. Those two went to some very wild places. So
I know I had heard about because of course they featured it on Busted Open, and I heard about the childhood home that Swerve said that he bought, and then Hangman went and burned down the house. That's something, and you imagine, I guess, that maybe Tony may have bought the property. I don't know. Or maybe he had plans to rebuild, right? He had plans to rebuild the house in real life, and they didn't care whether or not they were going to burn it down. He was going to maybe build up a new one or something. But yeah, that's something. That's not something you see every day in wrestling. Somebody burns down another person's house. You don't always see that. So yeah, I figured that that match was going to be pretty good. Well, anyway, I mean, it seemed like a lot of people enjoyed it, and that's good because I know last year when they had that, it wasn't talked about being very good because of the big build up to All In and everything like that, and then that was right after it, and so there wasn't a lot of build and stuff like that headed into it. But apparently it was much better, so that's good. That's really good. I'm glad that it turned out well for all of those that watched it. Horrible ending, says AB. Tony Khan apparently said they ain't even done shocking the wrestling world yet. It's tax write-off. Yeah, I'm sure it was something like that. Are we talking about wrestling, or is this an episode of Murder, She Wrote?
Felt like that for a minute, man.
Right. The cinder block spot was unnecessary and dangerous.
Get old Angela Lansbury on the case.
They admitted they built the facade that Hangman burned down. The builder talked about how they got it done. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah. I mean, people mentioning Julia on NXT. Right. Yeah. That's it's funny because I was listening to the day after episode of Busted Open about that, and Bully Ray like asking Tommy Dreamer about her because he said he knew nothing about her. And Tommy's trying to explain to him, how good she is and stuff like that. And it was weird to hear him say that. Usually he's pretty up on all the wrestlers that come in, but yeah, I mean, Julia is she's going to be awesome, and you would think that they're lining her up to be the next one up on NXT. So, and you're still seeing the stuff going on with TNA, which we'll get into a little bit later on. But yeah, so that's pretty much the breaking news there for the wrestling. So, all right, so we'll move on to our topics here, Jeff. And what do we got as the first topic to talk about tonight?
All right, so SmackDown is headed to USA this week.
Yeah, it was the finale of SmackDown on Fox, and man, it's crazy to say that, like for as long as it's been associated with that network, and now they're changing over, and of course, Netflix will have Monday Night Raw starting next year, so for right now, both programs will be on USA. But yeah, it was weird, a little nostalgic last night or Friday night. A lot of people talking about some of the memories that they've had there and things like that, and Michael Cole, of course, being back on SmackDown after we saw was it Tessitore was back on Monday Night Raw.
Schenectady, New York native, right down the road from me.
There you go. That's awesome. But yeah, man, look, whenever they go to these new places and things happen, we all knew this was coming the end of last year into this year. We just didn't know where everybody was going to move. Obviously, NXT will be moving soon to the CW. We'll see how that goes. I hope that goes well for them. The CW can be weird. It's one of those stations where not everybody sometimes gets. So we'll see how that goes, but I hope it doesn't break up momentum for them. And then of course Raw moving. So yeah, I don't think this will be a big thing. I think this will be cool that USA is getting it back for just a little while. Being that they're always the network associated with WWE, right? Whenever we think of WWE, you think of USA, going back to Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd imagine, Jeff, that on these debuts, when they start over, we're probably going to get some pretty big things going on. I would think they'll have some bigger matches, and we'll touch on some of that in a little bit. But yeah, hey. It's cool. We knew it was coming, and I'm sure they'll have some surprises for us when these debuts happen.
Yeah, absolutely. They will definitely have some things in store. And this next topic that we're about to go to was one of those things that we'll have in store for this week, and that's Cody versus Solo, Part 2, in a steel cage.
Yeah, well, we knew that this wasn't going to be let go. We knew it was coming. Roman's on another little break again. He's been doing some interviews. In fact, I just saw he has an interview on YouTube that he did. So he's out there. But I'd imagine that this is still the story still going on. It's still probably going to lead up to Roman and what they're building up to here. I do not think that Cody drops that title. I don't care what he's in, whether he's in a steel cage or whatever. I don't see that happening. This, I think, is all to kind of usher Roman back in and get him involved with some revenge on the bloodline. Now, I think the thing that I want to find out here really is, do you see, and Jeff, I love your input on this. Do you see Cody helping Roman, returning the favor? Let's say Roman makes his way somehow into this cage or comes down to the cage and gets in. Do you see Cody getting involved here? Do you see him just kind of backing off, let Roman do his thing? And I just don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do that right away, or if they want Cody to just kind of stay away from it for a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably the way I'd play it. Because truthfully, even though we see Roman and Solo at odds, the question I still come back to is, did Roman really help Cody, or did he just have it out for Solo?
Yeah.
And I think that'll become clearer over the next several months. Um, but yeah, I think Cody probably just needs to stay out of family business, let them do what they need to do, and just retain that title.
Yeah. At some point, the numbers are going to even out, because I do think now Jey Uso is doing pretty good for himself over on Raw. Jay's even got a kind of an eye on Rhea Ripley lately too. I don't know what we might be getting another love triangle happening on Raw, but I would imagine, Jeff, that Jimmy is probably going to come back. And he might be the one that helps out Roman against these odds. And also, I do believe, and I heard him in an interview recently too, Paul Heyman is probably going to be back sooner than later as well to stand by Roman's side. So so it's this bloodline thing is just going to keep going. Like Paul said, we're only in the third inning. Well, he wasn't kidding. It's still going. So. Conrad says Cody has another problem incoming. Oh, Randy Orton, the Viper.
A Viper, a certain
Viper. That's true. It's interesting. Does he turn heel? Does Randy go back to being a heel after he got beat by Gunther and stuff like that? I don't think we need him to, but it'll be interesting if he does. We'll see. I got an idea what they can do. Cody wins and retains WWE belt. Then the 4-on-1 beatdown starts. We see Paul arrive, then Jimmy and Roman show up. We haven't seen Jimmy for months. Yeah, possible. Certainly possible. James says new bloodline all-out assault on Cody. Jimmy returns, then Heyman. Roman returns, take out the bloodline. Then the monster Hikuleo rips the door off like Kane and destroys all. Okay.
Because supposedly he's been signed for a while, Joe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Supposedly the rumor out there, and I mean, we have to take these rumors with a grain of salt, but yeah, that's supposedly the rumor.
Now, so James, you're saying that you think he helps Roman and Jimmy. So you're saying he returns on that side of the ball.
Yeah, which side do you think Hikuleo ends up on, and where do you think Zilla ends up if he ends up coming in? That's what I'm wondering. Listen, they have so many family members, they could keep this going probably until my kids are my age. So yeah, I mean there's a lot of family they could get involved in this. So
their kids and their kids and their kids can just keep feuding. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's very true. Tongas versus Owens. No, he destroys Roman and Jimmy stands with Solo. Ooh, okay. All right. So they're all against him, like all against Roman. That's crazy. That's crazy. Solo ends up back with the OG bloodline. I think Hikuleo will be on Solo's side. I think eventually they'll get Sammy and Jay with Roman and Jimmy. Okay.
Man, if they bring Sammy in to be with the bloodline again, man, I'd love that.
Looks like Sammy's going to have a match with Gunther, which is going to be very interesting. That's probably going to be a bad blood, I would imagine. So, yeah, interesting. A lot of ways they can go. All right, what's next, Jeff?
All right. Well, from one family to another, the Wyatt Six going up against American Made. This should be good.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's funny how on one side they have all the guys, and on the other side they have Ivy Nile. Yeah. I kind of think that we'll see how this works out. I want to see. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I may get what I wish for.
Yeah, you're gonna get something you don't want.
You're probably right. I was just gonna say I want to see. I have to laugh. I'll tell you. I'll share something real quick with you guys. So, and this is thanks to Derek, by the way. I think it was Derek that shared this. You know what though, Derek, you saved me actually, because Derek shared a picture of Abigail. and Abigail, of course, the vampire movie that came out. And Abigail was walking completely backwards, spider walking, like the whole shot he sent me.
Yeah.
Right now, I had no idea. And my wife, who never watches horror movies, came to me 2 days before that and said, we should watch Abigail together. I heard good things about that. Well, I saw your picture, dude. I came home and I said, look at this. Look at this. I said, we are not watching that film.
Joe said, the heck with
I said,
what you heard.
Nope.
I've seen what I needed to see.
Exactly. Yep. I saw enough. I said, we are not watching that movie. So thank you there for saving me there, because I would have had no idea, and it would have come as a surprise when I'm sitting there watching it, which would have been even worse. Pictures are one thing, but seeing it in action, yeah. So, but yeah, I should watch what I'm asking for, because if Nikki goes into that ring, I'm almost certain that that's going to happen. And with that mask and the black hair, and I'm going to have visions of the ring and all that kind of stuff for days. But in any case, it's going to be fun, and I'm sure this is going to be the main event. And man, Jeff, when is Chad Gable going to have enough? When is he going to have enough? Like, my God, you got beat up backstage to a bloody pulp. You know, you're just instigating these four men who, what more do you want them to do to you, dude? Like, you want them to, like, chain you up in the back like Mick Foley used to do in the boiler room and torture you for hours? I don't know. I don't know what more he wants, but I don't know. You know, we've talked about this on Fireflies, and I'm sure we will again. But where is this going? Is this going to lead up to Bad Blood eventually? And if that's the case, what kind of thing are we going to have there? I mean, we talked about it on that show a little bit. Are we going to get a cage match? Are we going to get some kind of a crazy gimmick? I don't know. But yeah, listen, I love it. Anything I get from these guys is going to be awesome. And they're doing a lot of dark matches too. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a lot of stuff they're doing after the shows end and stuff like that people are getting pictures and stuff of. So, yeah, Jeff, I'm excited. Anytime I know they're going to be on Raw, it's an exciting thing.
Yeah. I think Chad Gable, I think we have to be concerned for him because, you know, ever since we saw the debut of the Wyatt Six and we saw him, you know, all messed up in the back there in the gorilla area, he really has been barking up a tree that he really doesn't need to. So I think that bump to his head, you know, maybe he needed to be in the concussion protocol or something, because dude has just been asking for it and he's been getting it. I mean, he, you know, the one thing is he asks for it, he gets it. So, and I feel like the Wyatt Six are just going to keep, you know, they're going to accommodate his wants and desires. He wants them so bad, they're going to oblige. So, yeah, Chad Gable, be careful what you ask for. And I know people are asking who's going to be the fourth member. Honestly, I think what we're going to find out tomorrow night is that Ivy's the fourth member, and then the Wyatt Six are going to have Abigail, Nikki Cross participate in the match, and I just think that's not going to bode well for American Made.
God help me, man. That's all I can say. I'm going to be in big trouble because if there's going to be a spider walk happening, yeah, that's when it's going to happen. So
you're screwed.
You're
screwed if that happens. Yep.
I am screwed. Apparently Wyatt Six aren't scheduled to be in it. I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. Yeah. If that's how they want to play it and they just want to keep this a Raw thing, I'm okay with that.
And
I'm all right with that.
This was actually going to be part of a grievance this week, but I feel like that comment is a good segue into it. I think as wrestling fans, we've got to remember a couple things when it comes to groups or factions or even singles competitors that we begin to get behind. I believe that we have to be honest about what direction certain characters and certain things go in. not every group, not every single star that we follow and become fans of are going to win a championship. They're not all going to be in the main event scene, and they're not always going to be on pay-per-views. And I think at some point, although we'd love to see them on a pay-per-view, although we'd love to see them, more prominently, there are just times where we got to say, you know what, that the company's doing what they need to do. And unless we know that the talented people that are around, unless we hear that they have a problem with it, we should just be supportive.
Yeah.
And and I think, and not that I'm coming down on James about his comment, because that's not, he wasn't saying anything like, oh, they need to be on the pay-per-view. He was just saying they're not supposed to be for a while. And I think that's perfectly fine, because when you do bring them on a pay-per-view, it matters that much more.
You know what, too, Jeff? I often thought, and I thought of this even when Bray was doing it too. You wonder if, because there's such a big fan base for them, that it doesn't take away from the rest of the pay-per-view a little bit.
Yep.
Like you want, and maybe this is a way to do this, where they're on Raw, right? And they're a draw for Raw. Like people want to see them on Raw, so they're probably getting big ratings when they're on. They're main eventing the shows that they're on. So, and they know that, like Jeff said, do they belong main eventing pay-per-views? Probably not, right? Especially when you're doing titles and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good point, and I agree with you. I think that, save the pay-per-views for now. We've got some pay-per-views coming up that aren't going to be necessarily all about titles, right? We've got War Games coming up that they're going to do Survivor Series War Game. Now that's one I could see happening. If this goes to there, I could certainly see a match in a War Games ring between these factions. I could see that. Doesn't have to be the main event, because that'll probably be saved for Roman and the families and stuff like that colliding. But I could see it happening somewhere like that. But I'm okay with it. I don't need it to be a pay-per-view. I don't need it to be front and center. And listen, we don't know, how Bo is going about this and their plans, and how he's talking about all this stuff either. We don't know if he even wants to be on pay-per-views or anything like that. So yeah, it's a great point, and I agree. I think that's just that. Let's just soak it in, watch it for what it is, enjoy it, and just see how it goes. So yep. Segue. Join us on Tuesday, and we'll talk all about what happened on Monday. So come out and check out Fireflies Forever. It's a good show. Tom Collahue, who said that, by the way, on his YouTube channel. Okay, all right, cool. All right, Jeff, what do you have next?
Speaking of Tuesday, someone that we're very familiar with on this channel will be having an open challenge on Tuesday. So
Jordan and her open challenges, man. Like this woman isn't afraid to put that title on the line any place, anywhere. You've heard wrestlers say that in the past, right? Like, I'll put this on the line. I don't care but they don't live up to it. Oh my God. Like, how many people has Jordan fought that she's put this on the line? No matter, now she's going to NXT. She's putting it on the line there. And I was saying for a little while that, and we'll talk about this as a segue into another part of this segment too. But they've lost a lot of people, a lot of knockouts to injury with Kylan King, and now we saw Killer Kelly finally came out and showed that she was pregnant with a child. So we were wondering where Killer Kelly was and whether she was maybe going to come back. Now, obviously, she's not. And of course, we all know what happened with Giselle, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So they're really have lost a lot of knockouts in what is that's their strength there. TNA's strength is that knockouts division, and sadly they lost a lot over this past year. So Jordan being that ambassador, going out and taking that title and still having people be interested in that, going to NXT now, she's going to challenge for, I mean, could you imagine? I don't think it's going to happen, but could you imagine if Julia came out to answer her challenge? I mean, you know, there's I don't think it will because obviously she's with Roxanne Perez and that kind of thing's going on there. But you know, James is saying maybe Wendy Chu. I don't know, but this is interesting, and it looks as if on TNA, especially from what I've read about, because I didn't get to watch the episode, but it looks as if Rosemary is seeming to be the one that is developing some sort of thing for Jordan as well, and that's building up a little bit too over in TNA. So maybe Rosemary is going to be the one that's going to step up. It's going to be that next big challenger for her in TNA. But Jeff, yeah, listen, I know you were a big Jordan Grace fan right when we started watching TNA, and I, you know, I think she's phenomenal. What she has done with this title is just put it on her, you know, put it on her shoulders, take it to a new height. She's taken on all comers. It doesn't matter who. And she's just putting that up there. And that says something about her, Jeff. I think that it's great that TNA has that title on her. I don't know, honestly, how long she'll be around TNA after this. You know, a lot of people are saying she's probably fast track going to NXT. And that could very well be. I don't know. But this run she's had, Jeff, is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, being able to have a champion that can defend it in the way that she does, weekly almost, that does a lot for the title, but it also, to Deanna's point, does a lot for Jordan Grace. I mean, you think about the year that Jordan Grace has had. I mean, defending the title as much as she has, but being in the Rumble and all those things. I mean, it's just she's had a heck of a year. So, I mean, it just only makes sense that she continues to defend the title the way that she does, and you know, there's some possibilities for some other names on Tuesday. I know a few people were mentioning Delta, which I agree with Conrad. That would be dope if WWE worked out something with TNA and Delta where she was able to go into the Knockouts division for 6 months to a year or something like that. I know that Bully Ray mentioned this, which is wild to say. And Brandon Wayne Lewis just mentioned her name. But Chelsea Green was the freaking star of the show on Tuesday. She's so great and so underrated, I think. So look out for Chelsea Green too.
That'd be an interesting match, Chelsea and Jordan, if Chelsea decided to come out and challenge her. I mean, look, Chelsea was in TNA, you know, wasn't all that long ago. So yeah, I did. Mickey James, imagine Mickey came back. I'd love that. Yeah, it's phenomenal that they're keeping this thing going. We're going to go right into the next segment here because we have more of it. The fact that this is keeping on going on, people were kept saying, oh, well, I wonder when this thing's going to end. Well, it doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon. This was amazing how they did this. Obviously, Wentz getting a win last week, which I did not see coming. I didn't think that was going to happen. Getting a win over his ex tag team partner and winning that match. But what it was because of Trey Miguel. And I didn't, you know, all of this, and in that whole thing, that whole storyline, Trey Miguel was kind of the forgotten one a little bit. Well, Trey came out and showed, hey, I'm the one who's got your back. I'm the one who's been here for you. And don't worry about him. You know, I'm the one. So now he comes out, helps, you know, Wentz to win the match, and then and now they're getting a shot at the NXT tag titles. So we'll see. You know, I know a lot of people are saying, well, they probably won't win. You know, we haven't seen, of course, Joe Hendry didn't win, and you know, so far nobody in NXT has dropped the title to anybody in TNA. But listen, to me, it doesn't matter if they win. That'd be pretty awesome. If they don't, it's still cool. they're spotlighting the TNA tag team on NXT. So it's still going on. I still love what everybody's doing and love that they're doing it. And it's bringing eyes to TNA and stuff like that. But one of the best tag teams in the world right here. The Rascals are just that damn good, Jeff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they've been great for a long time. I'm glad that more fans who maybe hadn't had a chance to see them get a chance to now. Trey Miguel is just so crazy talented. So is Zach Wentz, and so is Wesley. And I bring up Wesley because I think he might be a factor.
He could be
in this. So, but yeah, I mean, when we were doing the watch along for the Rascals and they had that send off, how emotional that was, but how awesome it was for that group. So yeah, looking forward to this. Hopefully they do what seems to be the unthinkable and win the titles. But if they don't, like you said, it's a good opportunity for more people to see how awesome these two are.
Bring that spray paint can, Trey. That'll that might just be the key.
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome stuff. I just love that it's still going on. It's giving me a reason to watch NXT, and I have never been one to do that. So I'm very happy for that, and I'm enjoying the wrestling I'm seeing on NXT. So another show that I'm watching now every week because of it. So yeah, good stuff.
Yep.
All right, what is next?
So we talked a little bit about her earlier, but Giselle Shaw being released from TNA, she requested her release, so it was granted. So yeah, let the rumors begin about where she'll end up. But I know James said that she's been teasing AEW a lot over the last several days, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, big loss for TNA.
This one was a big loss for them. But I will say this, and I was talking to Heather about this via DM. I kind of saw this one coming. Because of the fact that she has the relationship with Scott. So I kind of knew that of all the people that were going to go, I kind of figured that she probably would, just because of the way Scott was let go and stuff like that. So I figured it was just a matter of time before she ended up leaving. So yeah, look, it's sad. It's that a lot of people can look at TNA now and really say, well, their strength really may not be in that knockouts division anymore, man. I mean, right now, Jeff and I were always comparing them to NXT and WWE, right up there right up at the top. Well, they're so depleted now. That may not be the case anymore. So they're going to have to get some. They're going to have to go out and get some people, and they are, which we're going to talk about in a little bit too. So there's going to be some signings. There's going to be some people brought in, people to replace. But I will miss Giselle. Giselle was awesome, and all the matches she was in, I remember most her matches with Mickey, her matches with Deonna Purrazzo, always, and then most recently the matches she had with Tasha Steelz. Yeah, it was great, and look, we'll have to gauge it with you guys and see what Jeff is going to be doing, because his weekends are super busy. But we were talking about possibly maybe doing some stuff for that Scott D'Amore promotion that's going to be in October. That he's going to have the 2 nights for. I think it's $29.99 in Triller for 2 nights, which I think is pretty good. And the matches look pretty awesome. He's got a lot of talent there that are coming for that Canadian wrestling. So it looks like it might be fun. So we'll see. Something we may consider, depending on what you guys are thinking about it, and depending on what's going on and stuff for that weekend. So, but she's going to be there as well. But yeah, I'm going to miss her, Jeff. She was outstanding athlete and very good entertainer.
Yeah, absolutely. She will definitely be missed. But quick segue into the next topic. So Gail Kim is on the job. TNA is on the job. They've been working hard to bring in new talent, and we saw over the last week they signed Heather Reckless. and a very familiar name,
right?
very familiar face might be coming in too. And then with that video package on Thursday, that got us hyped, Joe.
I did see that. I saw that on Twitter because when somebody told me or mentioned it, and I saw it mentioned on Twitter, I had to go and look it up, and I saw the video package. Pretty awesome, with the fire in the background and stuff like that. Yeah, man. I mean, here's two amazing names right here, and both of them amazing female talent, amazing wrestlers. Will be amazing in the TNA Knockouts division. So we all know, from NXT. And WWE, what Zaya was all about. And I knew that she probably wouldn't stay unsigned for very long. The fact that they're bringing her into TNA, it's going to boost that up. It's going to get that Knockouts division right back up on top. So people are saying confidence in Gail. And Jeff said, Gail is doing the job, man. She's bringing in this talent. And they may not be done here. We have a big pay-per-view coming up after Emergence and Bound for Glory, one of the biggest of the year. They've had new people show up at that. So they may not be done. And maybe these two will be showing up at Bound for Glory or Emergence. We'll see. But I'm confident, too, that they will build that back up. I know that some of the women that are injured, like Kylan King and others, will be back. But yeah, Jeff, this is how can you not be excited? Like I was just saying, the Knockouts division kind of had a little bit on a downslope, with a lot of the injuries and all that stuff. Well, now we're seeing two women who are being brought in. Going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be really good. And, I don't think they're done just yet. And they have some partnerships that they can work through to get new talent in. I still say, and I'm going to continue to say, sign Christina Marie, please. Thank you.
TNA should sign Holodead, right?
Agreed.
Let's go. Agreed. I love that, man. Yeah, Holodead's awesome. If that happens, we put our interview that we had with her back up. We could put it out there again. People can listen to it all over again. Yeah, she's amazing. I trust Gail Kim. The Knockouts division has been historically incredible and should bounce back. Yep, they use Tatum, Izzy, Dame, Carmen, Ariana Grace already. Wendy Chu probably soon. Yeah, it's they'll get back there. They'll get back there. That's what they're famous for. And like Jeff said, I trust in Gail as well. So I'm sure they'll build it back up. So all right, moving on. What do we got?
Right. Last topic in the news. Netflix is doing a documentary on one Vince McMahon. And I gotta be honest with you. I don't know that I'm going to watch, just because I already have very strong feelings, and I don't know that I can really watch it, but was interested to see, Joe, your thoughts on this, and in the chat, just seeing if folks would be tuning into this later this month.
Yeah, all I could say to this is womp womp. I can't bring myself to watch it. Listen, regardless of whether or not you believe, it doesn't matter. The stuff that he was accused of is horrible. Me being the father of two daughters, I could never imagine, condone, or any of that crap that happened there. And no, I have no interest in watching a show about this man. I'm thrilled that he is gone. And I'm not dissing him. I'm not saying that what he did for wrestling wasn't historic. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve credit for everything he did, but I don't need to watch a documentary about him, especially if I don't know what the content is going to be. Are they going to bring that stuff into it? Many, many times these documentaries do, and I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear any of it. But to me, stay out of the limelight. You had your moments. We don't need him back in the spotlight. WWE is doing wonders right now without him. All the people that are in there right now are all very happy. My God, you're seeing people that want to go back there now. Like Ronda Rousey put a comment out there saying, I think I wouldn't mind going back to WWE now because she hated this guy so much. So yeah, I have no interest in this. I'm not watching it. Regardless, James saying it's a double shovel burial of him, and they're going to be even that. You know what? The way I look at it, James, and maybe I'm looking at it from a weird thing, but by me watching this, I'm giving him attention. I'm giving him. I'm sure he's getting paid for it, so I'm giving him money, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So, nah, I'm gonna take a pass on it. I'm gonna skip it. I don't need to see it. Maybe in 5, 10, 15 years or somewhere down the road, one day when I'm bored and I have nothing else to do. But no, I'm gonna take a pass.
I'll watch it on February 31st, 21.99. That's when I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna take a pass. I don't need to see this. I've had enough. I've done all that. I used to do that funny bit, the McMahon voice on our show for years. I stopped all that. I'm not doing any more of that. I don't need it. I don't need to see any more of this guy. I don't need to see any more of his face. I don't need to see. I don't like him as a man. As a WWE person and the person who founded all that, fine. I don't like him as a person. I don't like him how he was as a husband with the stuff going with his wife. I don't like him. I just don't think he's a good person. And I'm not going to sit and watch a whatever long it is 2-hour documentary or something. And it comes out on my birthday. I'm doubly not watching it. But yeah, no. I'll take a hard pass. Hard pass on that.
Yeah.
Let's see what people are. Congratulations, Ron. Oh, Rhonda's pregnant. Nice. Good for her.
Yeah.
Cardona said he wants to go back to a major promotion, aka WWE or AEW. Done with the indies now. Apparently, don't know how true that is. AB says I'll watch with my eyes closed. Yeah, you're still hearing the sound though. Yeah. Did you notice his tweet off after Chelsea's match on NXT got announced? I did not. I'm on the fence, to be honest. Find wrestling documentaries boring anyway, so I certainly won't be watching that. I'll stick to wrestling shows. I'm big skip for me. Big skip. All right, Jeff, I think we're moving on to our sell or no sell segment. Yeah.
Yeah. No grievance this week, folks. So yeah, I get it, but yeah, sell or no sell time. So.
Yep, we know you guys like it. Unfortunately, we're going to skip it this week, though, because we're making this a little bit of a shorter episode. So it's time for sell or no sell. You guys know how this works. You can play along in the chat. Please do. Sell or no sell. Sell it, no sell it. And here's the first question. But before we go into that, make sure you're getting prepared because we're going to need your help. Third question we get from you always. So get ready for some of your own sell or no sell topics to give us for the big wheel that we could spin. All right. Topic number 1 here, Jeff. Bryan Danielson is a Mount Rushmore wrestler. This question comes up a lot about wrestlers that have been around for a while, that are maybe going to be retiring soon. But yeah. What are your thoughts here, Jeff?
Man, I mean, when you look at all of the accomplishments, you look at his career, and everywhere he's been, he's won. So it's difficult because I think sometimes, like I look at him, like I look at Shawn Michaels, and then you think about Mount Rushmore. That's 4 people. So is he one of the 4 best wrestlers ever? And you know what, Joe? I'm going to go out on a limb. And I'm going to say he deserves to be in the conversation. So I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it because I think that given his accomplishments, the titles in every single promotion he's been in, but you look at the guy and how he works and his skill in the ring. I mean, even right now, he's definitely on the back side of his career, but he's still putting on great matches. And I just feel like, is he on my Mount Rushmore? No, but is he not too far off? He's elevated to that point now. So I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna say that he is for me.
That's the thing, right? This question is so loaded, and it's everybody's personal preferences, right? You're all gonna pick your own. You're all like, I can give you mine, Jeff can give you his. We're all gonna probably come up with different answers. There's no real right answer here. It's just like, whenever I see this question, I always think of mine come to my mind right away, and my 4 that I have on there. And then I think when someone new is asked about whether they should be there, then I think to myself, well, do one of those faces I have come chiseling down, right? Does one of them get chiseled off there? Like they did in the Superman the movie when they put the Zod up there and they did all the and he that's what comes to mind with this. I'm not dissing him at all. I'm not. But for me, I have to say no. I'm not going to argue with any of what you said because it's all true. Everything that he's done has been amazing. Yet, because this question I think is personal for every wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, it's personal because I'm going to tell you this. I did not root for this guy when he was going up against Triple H. I didn't want him to win.
You were one of the people
I was one of the people that rooted against him. I didn't want him to win. This felt to me so much like they just wanted this guy as over as could be, and that they just wanted to just give him and put him over and put him. And that night when he wrestled those 2 matches, I was rooting so hard for both men that wrestled him that night. I did not want him to win. I just didn't. I don't know what it is with him. The guy, I don't know what the guy's, just his face looks smug to me. I don't know what it is. I just have something against this dude. Like I never was a big fan. I never liked him all that much. But again, I'm not going to deny what he's accomplished. He's amazing at what he does. You know what I think, Jeff, what he should do? And I hope maybe he will decide to do this because maybe he'll want to stay around wrestling. I think that he should be a trainer, a coach, something backstage, something. Maybe he'll open up his own wrestling school. I don't know. That I could definitely see him doing. Maybe he'll be the backstage guy that AEW needs back there. I don't know. But maybe that's what he'll be. But yeah, I never liked him. And I was like, so the whole yes movement stuff, I wasn't a fan. And so I just wasn't a fan of it. So I can't put him there because I would want to chisel his face off of the Mount Rushmore the minute he went up there. So yeah, no, I can't. I just can't do it. But again, I will acknowledge what he did, what he's done for the sport, and what. But again, like when you have names up on Mount Rushmores like Ric Flair, like Sting, right? Like those guys that are up there. You know, for me, I may have some different ones. I may have Roddy Piper up on my Mount Rushmore. Maybe Jake the Snake would be on my Mount Rushmore. I don't know. But like that's what it is. Like that's what makes it hard for me to answer this question. But like I said, he's great. I didn't think he'd win that title, to be honest. In AEW, I didn't think he would win that. I didn't think they'd take that title off Swerve, and I thought he was going to retire. But we'll see how long this goes, this reign that he has, and how long it happens, and how long it goes. And I would have, and see where it takes him. But yeah, so there you go. Me and Jeff disagree on this one, but only because I just hate his face. Like just that smug picture up there. Like look at that smug smile. I just want to bash his head. Just like I just don't like him.
Well, apparently Mock felt the same way you did, and had to put a bag over his head last night. So I mean, I
think I might need to go back and watch that. I might actually enjoy that part.
So next time we do the show, Joe's gonna have that as one of his favorite
moments of the
week.
I might have to do that. Yeah, I might. Oh, let me see. Let's see what everybody's saying here. No sell to me, but I can't argue the sells. His match Saturday was meh. Based on the last 15 years, I would sell. If the Mount Rushmore has about 20 faces, says James. Depends on category, says Conrad. Jungle Boy did him no favors. He's a great wrestler, says Swag Fan. If Danielson is not on Mount Rushmore, he's definitely got a mock-up in the gift shop. I wouldn't argue if someone had him in their list. Wouldn't be on mine. I wish he would finish his career in WWE. Derek says, okay to say no. We all have our opinions. He's not on mine either, but he's a hell of a talent. Really nice guy in person, too. I imagine he probably is. When I'd watch him on the Bella Twins show and stuff like that, he seemed like a genuinely nice guy, which makes me hate him even more. I didn't know who Daniel Bryan was when he was in NXT, but then I looked him up in his time in ROH and realized he was way above The Miz. He should definitely be a trainer when he retires. American Dragon. Brandon Wayne Lewis says yes. For me, the Mount Rushmore would be British wrestlers from my childhood. Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks, Les Kellett, and Kendo Nagasaki, because that's when I believed it was all real. I bet Steamboats is on Jeff's. Oh, I'm sure.
Darn Skippy.
I'm sure he would be. See, that's what I mean. They're all different.
Mm-hmm.
They're all different. Brandon has one for later. Okay, we'll pin that and come back to it. Swagman says, "Damn, Joe. Joe hates goats." Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I never liked goats. You're right. When I used to go to the zoo and stuff, I kind of didn't like goats. In fact, the goats you go up to a goat and they like spit at you. They're just rude.
So what we're figuring out is when Joe was like 6 or 7, he had an encounter where a goat was like rude to him and tried to knock him over or something.
That could be.
And ever since then, he's just like, you know what? I'm done with goats. I'm done with it.
That could very well be, because my dad used to take me to the fair. That's one of the big fairs in the state. We used to go all the time. There used to always be animals and stuff there. So that could be. I may have just blocked it from my mind. All right. Derek says, "Damn it, Joe, LOL." What do I think about Dak's contract extension? I don't know. I didn't think he deserved that kind of money, but I don't know. That seems to be the market. It is what it is. So that's all good. All right, moving on. What's our next one?
They said, what did Deshaun Watson get? Let's do more than that.
Yeah, they just went above everybody. I mean, they went over that. He's now the highest paid person in the NFL
and the most guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Joe. So the second topic, the NXT TNA partnership has been, keyword, mutually beneficial. Sell or no sell?
I'm going to sell this because of the fact that I think it is bringing, in fact, I know because of numbers, it's bringing fans to both. I think it's, and I know the naysayers to this might say, well, there's the whole title thing. Joe Hendry should have won the title, didn't, in some people's opinion. That it doesn't look as if WWE is going to surrender any of their titles, that they're not going to. But look, for where TNA is, and again, we see this, you guys see it when we're doing watch-alongs for the pay-per-views. We're seeing sold-out shows. To me, that's helping out. You're selling arenas out. They're going to probably sell out the Detroit arena that they're going to for Bound for Glory. You're getting people watching the show more, to the point of where they stopped showing it on YouTube for cheap. I'm sure that's part of the reason why that is, because now they know, they're like, okay, now we're gonna go to the next level here, guys. We know we got you. You're coming, you're watching our show. You're gonna have to pay for the app now. So I believe that, yes, I'm selling this. I think, yes, it has been mutually beneficial. I think that they are they're doing things on each other's shows. Jordan's this week showing up on NXT with an open challenge. You have people going over to TNA that are wrestling there. Now, again, people look at this and say, well, we're not seeing Ethan Page going over there, and we're not seeing Roxanne Perez going over there. Okay. I could see that. That could be some people's argument against. But I just think, for the fact that they're both getting eyes, because I think that NXT is getting more TNA eyes. I mean, they're getting me. I don't watch. I don't I very seldom ever watched NXT, and now they've got me watching. So yeah. So for that fact, I'm selling it.
Yeah. This one's tough for me because while I do think it's been very beneficial, and I think it's given both bumps in ratings and viewership, I am one of those people who would like to see Ethan Page or Trick Williams or Roxanne or someone else, show up on TNA. Even saying that though, I do think it's been beneficial because if you look at Joe Hendry, being on NXT certainly hasn't hurt his status. Same with Jordan Grace. Now, what I worry about with those two is that they've just been doing like however many month long audition for WWE. But I do think it has been beneficial, mutually beneficial. So I am going to agree with you, Joe. I do think it has been, but I want to see, and I know I got to be patient, but I want to see them do a little bit more, and I think that they're going to. I just think that it's going to be the bigger stuff is going to come down the road.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. I still think that this is leading to something.
I do.
Yeah.
I think it's a joint show. I do think it's a joint show at some point.
I mean, like I said, they're coming up on the CW thing.
Yeah.
I agree. I still think that something's coming.
Yeah.
AEW's partnership wasn't mutually beneficial, but AEW did pop a rating, give them the world champ, and it was during the pandemic. It's true. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we're saying, and then get your questions ready, folks, for the spinner. Let's see. TNA is getting a lot of attention. Heck, TNA got 2 wins on actually NXT shows. That's big for them. Jeff's key word is what makes me no sell mutually. Michael King says sell. James says yet. Sell because I feel that's been a great thing going for both. Remember that crap Tony Khan and AEW did with TNA? Oh, this partnership with NXT is definitely beneficial. Also, Joe Henry's boosted up fan interest on NXT. We're not seeing Ethan Page yet. We're not seeing Roxanne Perez yet, but we also aren't seeing Josh Alexander or the system on NXT either yet. Good points. Good points. Swagfan says I can agree with that, Jeff. I think it's beneficial, but there's still room to grow with it. I agree with Jeff. I wonder how long it will take for TNA to get more leverage in the partnership because I think NXT wouldn't be as big as it is now without it. Okay.
And that's the other reason I say is mutually beneficial because while we haven't seen some of those stars, what we have seen is more people say, okay, I got to watch NXT this week. It's must watch because I don't know who's going to show up. So I think that's helped, but I also think it's helped TNA as well. But, again, I think this is fairly new. Even though it's been going on several months, it's still fairly new. And there's still time to do more. And I think they will.
Yeah, me too. I think we get some big name stars, TNA stars in NXT. Number 1 PLE of the year, 2025 stand and deliver. Could be. TNA partnership was awful with AEW, says James. I will say this, though, James. The matches were fun. The matches were good. Like, we knew the results. I mean, we had Kenny Omega going up against Moose. We had good matches with that. The weird part and the part that was cringy about that was what Tony was trying to do.
I knew where you were.
The playing the freaking villain on that was he was just awful in that. Just awful. Like trying to play the evil owner bad guy was just, it's cringeworthy. That was the bad part of it. The matches, though, I didn't mind. Like the matches, I didn't mind. I mean, hell, there was some amazing matches from that whole thing. So I didn't mind that. I didn't mind the Kenny Omega driving around in the van like Lex Luger did, right? Like that whole thing. I didn't mind that. But the Tony Khan thing, yes, I could have definitely done without. Definitely done without that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, it's your turn. Let's get some questions up so we can write them down and decide who gets the viewer's choice this week. The TK show is what I hated.
7 spots. 7 spots.
We got 7 spots to go, so we need some questions. Don't remind me of Tony on Impact. I need to sleep tonight.
Oh, okay. Let's do that one. Let's say Sid will make Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. Good one. I want you guys to know that the character TK was playing was Vince McMahon in Memphis.
Yep.
This was his first time being seen as a heel on that local television, but you can find it on YouTube, I think. Okay. Yeah, it was just very cringeworthy. So maybe Vince was very cringeworthy at that time, too. It could very well be.
For sure.
Could very well be. Brandon's already got 2 of them. Let me go up and see what we got up here. Because I think a couple people put some stuff in early. Of course, now I'm not going to find them. You're probably going to have to. Oh, here. Brandon says, "Is Cody and Solo's cage match, or will Cody and Solo's cage match be better than Swerve and Hangman's cage match?"
I got that one.
Okay, sell or no sell. All right, so we need more, guys. Skip back down again. Did AEW take things too far at All Out, says James.
I'm laughing at Derek because he's ready to bench Kirk Cousins already.
Derek, I feel bad for you, but that's who that guy is, man. He'll rack up games where he throws for 400 yards for you, but he's gonna throw 2 picks and he's gonna throw like 2 touchdowns, and that's what you're gonna be living with, buddy. So that's what you're gonna be living with, my friend. That's just who he is.
Ooh,
does TNA have the best tag division in all of pro wrestling? Okay.
Because I kind of hope that we land on that, because I have some thoughts about tag divisions across wrestling, period.
Yeah. Good one. Okay. Is Alexa Bliss the target of the Wyatt Six, says John G? How many we need still?
1.
One more, guys. Come on. Somebody's got to have one. Somebody's got to have one more. Who's it going to be? Next one up gets it. One more. Who's it going to be? I need one. I need one more. One more. Who's going to do it? Come on. I'm waiting for a comment. Here we go. Andrew Stevens.
I've got that one already.
Beautiful.
I've got that one.
Oh, you got the Swerve and Hangman one?
Ooh. Those 2 are really good. Should WWE bring back WCW?
Oh, my God.
Does Rosemary win the Knockouts title? I'm going to go with here, James. I'm going to use your topic for the next show, because I want me and Joe to dive into that. But I am going to write down Rosemary's. But I love that topic, James.
I mean, they own it, right? They still own it. Interesting.
All right, so here we go.
All right, round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Jeff's going to tell us in a minute.
All right. Cody and Solo's cage match will be better than Swerve and Hangman's.
I didn't see it, but I heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no. And only because, well, not only because, but because of the feud that's been going on with Swerve and Hangman, and the brutality of it.
Yo, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. And I don't think that's quite there with Solo and Cody yet. I don't think it's there. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, to be honest. And I'll be flat out honest with you guys, like because I don't beat around the bush with stuff. I think it's too soon for Cody to be involved again with the bloodline. I do. I know it was always going to be in the back of his mind and always going to be there, but I don't think. And another little bit of honesty, I think. I don't think they know on SmackDown who to put up against Cody Rhodes right now. I just don't think they do. And since Jeff stepped away for a little bit, I'll expound on this. I'm even going to take it a step further, and I'm going to say that I think Cody Rhodes' reign as champion has been a little bit underwhelming. And I don't think it's at all his fault. I think that we were taken on such a ride with Cody that I think he's falling a little bit prey to when you make it on that struggle of a climb for 2 whole years, that when you finally hit that, where do you go? And most of the time, the only place you go is down. That was such a crazy different story. And yeah, no, you're right, Conrad. The draft did no favors. No, you're right. To be honest, guys, like SmackDown is not, I don't think SmackDown is good. I don't enjoy it anymore. I've tried to watch it the past few weeks. I don't enjoy it. Like, I know there's some great people there. The Bloodline is there, and LA Knight is there, but I don't enjoy it. Like the 1 week on SmackDown, and I know it's only 2 hours, but they literally had 2 matches. 2. Like I'm not as attracted to watch that. Nowhere near as I am now to Raw, which is insane. It's 100% flipped. Like Jeff and I make fun of that all the time. We used to say that we would be falling asleep watching Raw. Now it's like it's flipped. It's gone completely opposite for me. I don't even care if I miss it anymore. And that's the true feelings on that. And the Cody stuff, like, I guess maybe because he went so far to win that match that I don't see him losing anytime soon. There's no way they're going to have him drop that title 4 months after he won it and took so long to win it. There's no way. So these people that he's coming up against, to me, there's no way he's going to lose. So I just think that this is being used as a bridge for the Roman stuff. And so, yeah, I'm definitely no selling this. The Swerve and Hangman stuff with all the personal things and the burning up of the houses and wasn't there something with Swerve too where he threatened his wife?
Oh, he went to Hangman's house.
Yeah, and his wife's pregnant too, right? Like, I mean,
the kid was there. So
that's a pretty high degree of feuding. So no, it's definitely a no sell for me. So yeah, definitely a no sell.
I'm gonna no sell it too, Joe. And the reason I'm no selling it is because the Solo and Cody feud isn't even on the same level as Hangman and Swerve.
Yeah, it's
Swerve. If we had a category for our awards for feud of the year, which we do, by the way, I can go ahead and tell you my leader in the clubhouse, and it's Swerve and Hangman, because that feud has been absolutely fantastic. The personal stuff and that adds to a program, that adds to a feud. So, while I appreciate everything about the Bloodline and Cody's story, I just feel like this feud is better. So I don't think it'll be a better match. I think it'll be a good match. But here's what I'd say too, when it comes to matches and picking one over another. It really just goes down to people's preference. And there are going to be some people who praise the Cody and Solo cage match up and down and say it's the best thing that they've ever seen. And there are going to be some people that say the opposite. They're going to say it was the worst thing that they've ever seen. So it's tough to say a match will be better, but I just think based on everything involved in the feuds, I don't think that we're there yet with those two.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see what everybody's saying here. No sell for me. Not a chance, this clown. No sell. I'm not convinced Solo's quite good. And see, I agree with that point a little. I do. I don't know that Solo is on the level of Cody Rhodes. I don't think he is. I don't think he's on that level. I think they're rushing that a little, and I don't think he's on that level yet. I just don't. John G says no sell. Swagfan says no sell. James says no sell. It will be good, but it won't. It has to be beautiful, it won't be as brutal. Sorry. Cody Solo won't be the spectacle that Swerve Hangman was. SmackDown drafted no favors. No. Yeah, you're right. They didn't. Derek says I agree. Talking about my thoughts on SmackDown. Yeah, it's just not. It's not there. It's just not there. They don't have the athletes to compete with Raw right now. They really just don't. Cody feels like a side character in the Solo and Roman feud, and he's the undisputed champion. The Ula Fala has more substance than Cody's title right now. That's a good point. That's a great point, actually, in this. That's a great point. You're right. Is that pushing aside that the belt should be the most popular thing? You might be right. You might be right. Match is set up to make Bad Bloodline versus Roman. Yeah, I know. I agree. I know that's going. Yes, but the Rock crap. But he made Cody's story even better. NXT is more interesting than SmackDown these days. Swerve and Hangman feud is probably the best feud in AEW history, in my opinion. Swerve broke into Hangman's house and cut a promo on his back. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Swerve versus Hangman. Effie versus Mance Warner is tied with Swerve and Hangman. Okay. Like Jim Cornette said, Batman needed Joker, Superman needed Lex, Cody needed Roman and Rock. Cody is good enough as a face, but that was certainly something very, very unique. And I think that they're, I know SmackDown reached out and wanted to snap up Cody right away to that show, but I really think that might have been a mistake, especially with Seth taking the time off that he did, and Punk looking like he might be the one who's going to end up wearing the title over there at some point, but that may not be till next WrestleMania. I don't know that I would have taken Cody off of Raw. I just think there's a lot more talent there that he could have been feuding with. That would have been better. We all know the chase is always better than being the champ. That's true. Yeah, very true. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate your input. Appreciate you playing along and giving us that last question as well. So we're gonna go to our next segment now, Jeff, and we've got a burning. It's getting hot. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
It's a burning question of the week.
Yeah, burning up a little bit, so a little toasty for everyone. So the question this week is I'm new to the TNA bandwagon, love what they do, but it feels like there's something missing. Do you think there's anything they need to do differently to attract even more new fans? Apologize for the typo, but even more new fans.
Interesting question. Yeah, like, we were just talking about it, how NXT is bringing people over, like some people are coming over to watch. And this is a good question, because what is now, I would think a lot of NXT fans might be coming over to watch Joe Hendry, or they might be coming over to watch Jordan Grace, or now maybe they're coming over to check out the Rascals. But the way this question's worded, it feels like there's something missing. It's a poignant comment. What is missing right now from TNA? What is missing from TNA? Well, I alluded to it earlier. They always relied on that knockouts division, and I think it's just been so depleted that, look, think about it. Think about who we're seeing on the show every week that's in that knockouts division. Jordan Grace, of course, right? But we're seeing, and then the tag team champs, We're seeing the no, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, sometimes we're seeing Masha and Lish. Sometimes we're seeing Jody Threat and Zaya. But we're not getting a variety anymore. We're not getting that. A lot of times, my gosh, the last few years we've been doing watch-alongs. They were having their women main eventing nights on that show.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's a thing. I think that's a thing. And I think, Jeff, we talked about this when this year first started for TNA. They went the route, Jeff, of factions.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a little over that. I think I might be a little over that. I get it. The system is fine and everything like that. But then when they went to now they brought the Hardys in, right? And so now it seems like it's the Hardys versus the system all the time. And they're just bringing in people with them. And it's always somebody against the system and the system and the system and the system. And I get it. But I think I'm kind of over that. I think I'm kind of over the factions now. They did it. They have it. They have it going on. I want to see something different. I want to see, you mentioned it, I want to see the faction implode, the system implode from inside.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the whole JDC thing and Moose thing happen. I want to see that implode from the inside. I want to see that happen. You know, we were hoping we might get a faction from Jonathan Gresham, but that kind of fell through. So I think the knockouts, they need to get that back. The X Division stuff is still going strong. That's still very good. That's still going really well. They had NXT people come over for that and everything like that. So I think that's fine. But I think we need the women. I think we need the women back, spotlighting a little bit. I think we need more women's tag as well there. Remember when that was so prominent, Jeff? When the Fire and Flava, when we had Tennille Dashwood in there, when we had who were the ones that lived in Australia that came from the WWE for a while?
The Iconics.
The Iconics there, right? Like it was amazing. We had so much women and stuff like that. We need that. We need that back. And I think that's an attraction in itself. People that are watching NXT and are coming over, they want to see that. Because the NXT is great women. Look, when I watched NXT these past few weeks, holy crap, there's so many women's matches on there. I couldn't believe it. So I think they need that back.
Yep.
That's my answer. But what do you got, Jeff?
So I think in terms of the knockouts division, I know that we aren't getting the same thing that we've been accustomed to in terms of the numbers of matches. But I think once we get beyond some of the injuries and you get to have people returning and everything, I think it changes things a little bit. Then we'll have a little more variety. What I would like to see change has really nothing to do with the in-ring product and more of what's done surrounding the in-ring product and how they support it. I'm gonna be completely transparent. I think they need to do a better job of marketing and advertising. If you're going to have people on NXT, then I think you should have commercials on USA that run on Tuesday nights. Check out this week's episode of TNA Impact. I mean, just a quick 15 to 30-second spot on USA. I think something like that would be great. Lean into the social media thing. Just lean into it. Hype people up. Have your fans share their favorite match of the week from the previous episode. I mean, just there are ways to build the hype. But I honestly believe the other part of it is at some point you have to be more accessible to wrestling fans. And I feel like while the TNA Plus app is great and I like it, sometimes you have to look at, are we moving ahead too fast with certain things and alienating a certain group of fans by moving a little faster, maybe. I think that starting the TNA app this year was great, but I think fully moving to it in 2025 would have been a better move. Um, I kind of feel like this year they should have kept going with YouTube, and maybe once you get into Slammiversary season, like right after Slammiversary next year, then saying, okay, we're going to move away from YouTube. But I feel like at that point it would have just given more time to fans to adjust to everything being on the TNA Plus app. So would it be great for them to be on a different network? Yes, it would be, because that would mean that it would be more accessible to people than Access. But as long as Anthem is in the driver's seat with TNA, that's not going to happen. So again, I feel like maybe, and this is not going to happen, but maybe revisiting the YouTube thing and just marketing and advertising your show better would work wonders. Again, there are some people who don't even know that TNA comes on Thursday nights. Advertise, spend a little bit of money and advertise. I mean, I work in the field, so I'm always gonna be a little more a little more sensitive to when I see opportunities for folks to advertise and market a little bit better. Um, but yeah, I think they've got to start letting people know and spreading the word a little bit more. And because I do feel like there are fans out there who would like a show that's 2 hours, that isn't long and drawn out, is to the point. You got great action, you got great talent there that you can really market well. And that's the other thing too. Get some of your talent that are on your roster to really promote TNA too. I don't see enough of that. I think I see some, but I don't see enough. So that would be what I'd like to see change to attract new fans.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that definitely all very good stuff. Like, I mean, yeah, it's I like some of the comments. I mean, people were talking about all different things. Somebody mentioned the writing on the show, which look, we've been watching the show, the watch along every week. You know, we're saying it's 8s, 9s for the most part. What they've been doing is very good wrestling. But one thing that I will say that they did get away from, other than Santino, he's the comic relief. He's the guy who does it in the back. But they did get away from doing some of those the back promos. I mean, I miss the Johnny Swinger stuff, man. I like that. I thought that was it's a little different. It was goofy, yes, but it was a little different. I enjoyed that. I like that backstage kind of antic stuff going on. That happens everywhere. You see that in all different wrestling, no matter what promotion it is. There's always some goofy stuff happening back. And I don't know, like, are they trying to just make it focused more on the wrestling and less on the promos? But see, I think it needs to be a good mix. And NXT does they don't do a whole lot of that either, right? They do interviews, like backstage interviews with the wrestlers and stuff like that. They do that, but they don't have a lot of promos necessarily backstage either. So I don't know whether they mutually decided to do that and get away from that and stuff like that. But I think that's something else. It just made them different. It made them different. The Johnny Bravo thing and stuff like that, and it just made them different. And I think they just go back to that a little bit. So yeah, I mean, all great suggestions here. Advertisement, great point, Jeff. I'm not ready to drop $10 a month on whatever it is. They're doing more to go to the cities and promote in the local markets. You just got to keep doing it. improve the product a little more, which would improve TV chances. They need an offer from a major network if their contract expires with Anthem or Anthem allows it to expire. Writing needs to improve a little. What happened to Gresham's story, for example? That's a great point. That just kind of went poof. Like they were doing the whole thing with the black stuff. I don't know whether they decided, oh, no, this is too weird and we're not going to do this anymore. Yeah, I agree. We thought something cool was going to happen with that. Like we were thinking he was going to start possessing like other people. They were going to be a faction together and stuff like that when the faction thing was going on. But yeah, nothing ever came of it. They just dumped it. They just stopped it. So yeah, I agree. And listen, you know, we don't know like the behind the scenes, right? We don't know how much Scott D'Amore may have been involved, how much he may have been. Maybe he was doing some of the writing. Maybe he was doing some of the stuff like this in the back. We don't know. And, you know, and so, yeah. I think the taping of shows put some of us off because we already know what's happening. Yeah, the spoilers suck. More advertising and doing live shows on a decent network. I think that's about it. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any down here. Spend money to accumulate money. You have to break eggs to make an omelet. It takes money to make it and let people know your product. Yeah, yeah. I say that TNA on Access TV is protected because Anthem owns the network. So there is not that network pressure. Just got to get access in more homes. Little Goofy is great now and then. Yeah, I totally agree. I loved all that stuff, man. During COVID, I know a lot of it was during COVID. Oh my gosh, I know it was a lot of it was. Remember that thing? What was it? The Wrestle House? Oh yeah, my God,
yeah,
that was so much fun. It's so much fun seeing those guys do that and just have fun. Like Chris Sabin, of all people, who'd have thought Chris Sabin would be one of the guys that was like the biggest cut up in there? Like, I like that stuff. I think that's fun, man. I think that's fun. They lost some of their writers to AEW. I could see that. I enjoyed those Gresham vignettes. They were cinema. Yeah, like that stuff was good. Yeah, like didn't commentary mention passing aggression? Didn't remember the octopus thing. It may come back. Man, maybe it'll bring it back. But I want IPW. Yeah, I know. No more IPWF. That kind of sucks, right? Like that was a nice little thing that happened on Thanksgiving. It was just a different thing to watch. Yeah, I agree. There's definitely some stuff. I think, Jeff, that there's some work they need to do. I think we could agree that there's work they need to do.
Yeah, and it's not taking away from the great work that they're doing.
The wrestling's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if your business model is such that you want more eyes on your product, which every television show wants more eyes, there are certain things that you have to do. And I just feel like, again, improving the marketing, and I get it. They do when they go to different markets, they have street teams in different markets. I was a part of it when they came.
You did that.
Yeah, I did that, and that's great. But aside from those times where you're in those markets, what are you doing with your street teams? What are you doing in those markets that you've been in, that you constantly go to? What are you doing in those markets to really encourage people to bring others on board? And that's where I feel like they could do a little bit more. And again, other than Access TV, when do you see TNA ads, commercials? They could do a YouTube ad. You don't even have to advertise on television. But there are certain things that you can do, especially in this digital age, that would attract more fans.
Yep. Agreed. All right, guys, we're going to move on to our last segment of tonight's show, and that is the favorite moments of the week. So we all know you had something on your mind. You had something that stuck with you throughout the course of this week that you loved from any of that wrestling that you may have watched. So get them ready. We're going to go 3. We're going to go 2. We're going to go 1. And we're going to give you our favorite moments of the week and read off some of yours. So, Jeff, what was your favorite moment of the week, number 3?
Number 3. I'm actually gonna address something that Brandon just asked.
Okay.
So one of my top moments, my number 3 top moment, was actually the debut of Joe Tessitore. I feel like with Joe Tessitore, for those of you who aren't sports fans and watch ESPN a lot, um, he's one of the best voices, play by play color commentator voices that they have. And you think about his career, he's done a lot with boxing and other things too. So uh and he expressed that he was a wrestling fan. He is a wrestling fan. So you get someone who has his commentary chops, who follows the product. You're not bringing them up to speed and having to teach them about what it is that that you're trying to accomplish as a wrestling company. That bodes well for you. And the other thing that it does, speaking of attracting new fans, is some of these other fans that don't watch wrestling, that you watch ESPN and you do what I did and you put college football on a Saturday and that's what you keep your TV on all day. Um, they're gonna say, "Oh, well, he's doing this now. Let me go check it out." Even if they don't like it, you're still getting eyes, and they're gonna tell other people about it. And I was pleasantly surprised. I was worried because they've tried this before with others, and it hasn't gone as well. But I felt like this was a good debut for Joe Tessitore. So that's my number 3.
Yeah, I agree. It was a really good debut, no doubt. My number 3 is the confrontation between Gunther and Sami Zayn. Sami, now I'm sure everybody's wondering, well, is this going to be the time when Sami gets? I didn't really see this coming, and I guess I should have, because they have that history, right? But I didn't really see that this was going to be coming like this. Now, I kind of doubt that Sami would win this, but I do like the buildup. I like the start of it. I like how Gunther looked a little weak leaving that and walking out of the ring, because he wanted no part of that. So I kind of dig that. So I'm liking that. And I think that, look, Sami's he's a worker, man. He's just good at whatever he does, no matter what storyline they give him to do or what they have. Honestly, Jeff, I want him to win. He's got to win a title someday, a major title. I really think he deserves it, and to hold on to it for a good amount of time, not just for a transitional thing or have it for a month or whatever. He's a workhorse there, and I think that that this is going to be good. The war of words between him and Gunther, they have history together, so there's a lot of that. A lot of people are wondering, well, where does Sami go now? He just dropped the Intercontinental title. To where does he go? Well, he's moving on to this. And while I don't think they're going to take that title off of Gunther for a good long time, he may hold that till next WrestleMania. That's how long that may last. But yeah, I liked it. I like the war of words between them. I like the playing off of each other. I like the fact that he walked out and Sami got upset and mad. I just like Sami Zayn. And I like what Gunther's doing too. So I like that whole thing from Raw. All right, let's see what we got for number 3s out here. The new commentator for Raw is fantastic. Tatum Paxley versus Rosemary from NXT, says Alexa Bliss Gamer. Rhea Ripley yeeting with Jey Uso in the ring post tag match on Raw. Cody calling out Jacob Fatu. Combo of Zach picking up the win at No Mercy and the Rascals becoming number 1 tag contenders in NXT. Also, the X Division belt went hard on WWE television. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre's feud, says Conrad. Liv Morgan kisses Rhea after stomping her knee. Ospreay versus Pac match. And okay, all right. So there's your number 3s. All good stuff. And we're going to go on to our number 2. Jeff, what do you got for your number 2?
My number 2 moment of the week. And I go back and forth on this because I've already kind of given out my number 1 that has nothing to do with wrestling. But my number 2 was just the lead up for Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. Again, this is a feud that I feel when credit is deserved, you got to give credit. AEW's done great with this. Hangman and Swerve are great, and what they've brought to this story has been excellent. Say what you will about the match last night. Some of it, I'll be honest, I would have preferred to see thumbtacks in some spots. That tells you that tells you everything that you need to know.
Never
But
thought I'd hear that on this show.
yeah, but honestly, their feud has been so well done, and I mean, just tremendous work from both, and whoever's doing the stuff backstage and all of that good stuff. They deserve a lot of kudos. But that for me, that's my number two. Seeing those two guys lock up again, and man, just brilliant stuff.
Yeah, that's agreed. That was really, really good. My number two, I got surprised again on NXT, and I saw my one of my favorite wrestlers come out there again, and that was Rosemary. Man, I love seeing her on there. She seems now like she's getting a lot of spotlight as well, which is great. She was gone for a while, came back with this new character, this I don't even know how to explain it. She brings the black rose in. It's almost like she buries her opponent. It's a sick character. I like it. It's very different. She's not doing the demonic one anymore, but I still like it. I like what she's doing. I like how she's watching from the stands and stuff, and I dig it, man. I think what she's doing is awesome. I'm glad that she looks like she's gonna be next in line, maybe for Jordan's title. I'm really enjoying seeing what she's doing and seeing her work and having them put her out there and have her go over to NXT. She's getting such a great reaction from their fans. The fans chanting "Rosemary, Rosemary," like the NXT or like the TNA fans chant, which is I think is awesome. It shows you the intelligence level of fans, right? Like you know, people just don't not watch other things. Like you kind of think, these guys are just NXT homers. They're only watching it. It's not true. I think they're watching wrestling overall. They're just watching good wrestling, and so yeah, I love to see. I've got to dig out my Rosemary T-shirt that I picked up, and I'll have to wear it on a show some night coming up soon. So, yep, always great when I get to see Rosemary in the ring, and I absolutely love it now that I get to see her twice. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. All right. Let's see what people have as their number twos. We've got Joe Hendry concert. It says AB. Derek's talking about NFL cheerleaders. Oh, God. Uncle Howdy's promo, says Alexa Bliss Gamer. Lyra saving Tatum, says James Grant. Joe Testora's commentary debut. Oh, that was their number three. Julia showing up at No Mercy to confront Roxy. Swerve and Hangman is Conrad's number two. They got me with the whole buying the childhood home thing. They got a lot of people. They got LaGreca. LaGreca didn't even believe that. LaGreca fell for that. And they got Bully Ray. Bully Ray actually sent him a text to congratulate him for buying his house. So they got him too. I mean, they got a lot of people. And look at the guys. I'm asking a question. Isn't it fun to get got? That's part of wrestling. It's fun to get got. It's fun to not know. Moxley's heel crusade to look for Darby Allin. Number two is Punk and Drew. Hangman bringing down the house. Literally, that was a hot ending to Dynamite on Wednesday. Rosemary versus Tatum on NXT. Wentz and Trey, NXT tag title contenders. All right, some are giving us number ones. All right, Jeff. I think I know what your number one might be.
Yeah, my number one is simple. My number one favorite moment of the week was going to my son's first game yesterday. My daughter running around and having a bunch of fun. Seeing my oldest son there, and by the way, want to mention too, he plays JV football, and he had 7 tackles on Thursday. So shout out Christopher. But seeing him play and knowing how much he loves football, how much he loves sports, and being able to get out there and play. And then doing as well as he did yesterday. Um, I'm so proud of him. So I'm proud of all of my kids, and just for them chasing after their dreams and wanting to do more things, seeing them grow up. It's an honor to be their dad. So yeah, that's my number 3. I'm gonna shut up talking before I talk too much and get emotional, but it means a lot to be able to see my kids. And the last thing I'm gonna say, I was debating on whether or not I wanted to say this, but I do want to say it, and this is for anybody else out there who kind of went through this as a kid too. But my dad, I love my dad, God rest his soul. Um, but my dad never came to any of my games. Um, he never came to a football game, and he came to one baseball game, and pointed out the fact that I had a strikeout, and that was a game where I went 3 for 4 with 3 home runs and 1 strikeout. But he pointed out the strikeout. Um, I was so incredibly just thrilled and happy to be there for JJ yesterday, and every chance he came over and got his water bottle or he got near me, I just said, "Dude, I am so proud of you." I think as parents, especially if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, 60s, 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s, um, people didn't love on you as much. I think they loved you and you knew that they loved you, but you didn't really hear that a lot at times. And that can it can be confusing, but it can also be hurtful. Um, so if you do have kids, um, tell them that you're proud of them. Tell them that you love them. Give them a hug. Um, be there for them if you can be. And the beautiful thing is, even if you're not in the same state, the same area, the beauty of technology lets you be in places that you couldn't be before. So use all of your resources to be there for your kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, younger siblings, whatever. And Conrad said this in chat earlier, but let let your people know that you love them. I think a lot of times people are so afraid to just say I love you to people, and you never know what that I love you might do for the person you're telling. There are some people who go through the day and they never receive any kind of credit or pat on the back or an I love you or hey, are you okay? They never receive that kind of thing. And having people check in on you and say that can be the difference between a lot. And this is also suicide prevention month. So I want to say that too. Love on people, ask them how they're doing, because those things are important, and that can keep someone from doing something that they can't take back. And this is another thing that you all probably never thought that you'd hear on this channel, but if you've been watching for a while and rocking with us, you really might not think you'd ever hear this. But I was watching a video today earlier, um, and it was Marcus Bagwell, Buff Bagwell, and they were doing an interview with him. And if you remember his old tag team partner Scotty Riggs, um, he had called him one day and said, "Hey, just wanted to check on you and see how you're doing." And Scotty Riggs told him that he had lost his house, that it had been foreclosed on and that he was sleeping in his car. And Buff told him, like, hey, I'm staying at the DDP house. Come stay with me. Just come hang out, even if it's just for a few days. And they cut to Scotty Riggs. And he's very emotional. And he said, had I not gotten that call from Marcus that day, I had planned on shooting myself. So I share that story to say that in the moments where you feel like, man, I don't want to bug this person. I don't want to bother them. I know they might be busy. Do it anyway. Bother them. Bug them. Because maybe that's what they need for that day. All right, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox, Joe. Sorry.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good, man. Listen, that's why we do this show, right? It's a forum. It's a place for us to express things, and you guys too. Same thing back that you do with us. Look, I will be completely honest. I have nothing really more to say. Jeff just basically there's nothing else you can top that with. I can't really say that I watched a lot of wrestling this week. Being honest, I didn't. I didn't even get to see TNA this week, so I can't really pick out something that I had that was really, really, really up top there. But yeah, look, it's we're all human beings. Sometimes you don't think that when you see stuff on social media, and but yeah, whatever it is that you always know that some people may be going through some stuff. We all kind of support each other in here. Deanna's talking about things now that having her mom passed away. Then that's what I like. One of my favorite things of all time is just the fact that we could do this, and we could share our stuff with you and vice versa, because it means a lot. And so I appreciate you all, and of course Jeff and everybody that's here that gives us a reason to come out and talk to people. And always just consider that the top three things that we do. While we most of the time keep it about wrestling, sometimes it's other big things that happen in your life, and it's very cool that Jeff could have that moment with his son and stuff like that too. So, but yeah, it's awesome. And don't ever, as far as you guys are concerned, don't ever feel afraid and I hope you're all not to share things with us because that's what we're here for. Right. So yeah, great stuff. Awesome. All right, guys. Let me see. I'll read out your number ones real quickly through the thing here, and then we'll get out of here for the night. Let's see. We got Swerve and Hangman. We got Tatum Paxley and Lyra, Valkyria, and Tyra reuniting on NXT. Swerve and Hangman, says Derek. That seems to be the big one. All Out was awesome. No Mercy main event. AEW All Out on a whole, says Conrad. Let's see what else we have here. Despite the attempted murders, AEW All Out. Seeing All Out in Collision Live Friday and Saturday. Julia and Roxanne. Juliet, No Mercy, new knockout signing. Swerve versus Hangman and Jeff's kids. As the SWAC fan. Conrad said it's important to kids. Don't let anyone tell you any different. My number one is the great storylines of Raw, such as the sagas of Punk, McIntyre, and Terror Twins and Judgment Day. I like the thing with Jay, man. I thought that was slick. Yeah. the yeet stuff, and then him kind of looking over and being like, okay, that's going to cause some problems. If we're for friends checking on me this week, I've gone crazy. Rough week. Mom's funeral is Friday. We're so sorry to hear that, Deanna. And obviously our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. Ask more people how they are, and more important, listen to the reply. And if you're not with the other parent anymore, don't badmouth the other parent in front of your kids. I want to shout out my two-time ex-wife. As kids, they never said, as my kids said, they never heard her badmouth me. DDP is a beautiful soul. Agreed. Yeah, great guy. and all the things that he's done to help people over the years. Yeah, it's a very, very wonderful person that can do that for people, for sure. Okay, I think that got it. Yeah, okay. Julia's debut at NXT No Mercy. They presented her perfectly to fans in the arena. All right, guys, that is it for our abbreviated episode of Between the Ropes. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. We shall return with Fireflies Forever on Tuesday at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, that'll be me and Chris and possibly Jeff. We'll see what Jeff's schedule is like. But we'll definitely be talking all about the match that happens tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, which I'm sure everybody will be waiting for tomorrow's show. And then, of course, we'll be back this coming Thursday for TNA wrestling watch along on Thursday. Now that don't forget the new start time to that, guys. That starts at 7:45 every week now, because we're going to be starting at 8:00 instead because of it being on the app and stuff like that now. So we're going to start the same time as the app does. So just keep that in mind going forward. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. Please stay safe, be kind to one another always, and hopefully we'll see you all on our next episode, which will be on Tuesday. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll talk to you all soon.